Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing good and I am here with the fourth video of the video series on class 7 maths integers, and in this video we are going to learn about multiplication of integers and we'll also solve a lot of questions based on the topic. Let's get started.
So till now we had been discussing about addition and subtraction of integers. Now we will learn how do we handle multiplication of integers, and then we will also discuss properties for multiplication of integers. Now how do we multiply two integers? Again, here also we will discuss the different scenarios, like how to multiply a positive integer with negative integer. Then we will talk about a positive with positive, a negative with negative, and so on. So first we will talk about positive integer multiplied with a negative integer. Now let us take an example. Let us say that you want to multiply this minus 2 multiplied by 3. Now can you tell me what does this mean? What does multiplication exactly means? This basically means that minus 2 is added 3 times. So we can say that minus 2 into 3 is same as minus 2 plus minus 2 plus minus 2. So they are the same thing. So whenever you are multiplying two integers, that actually means something like this, that minus 2 is added these many times. Now instead of adding it for so many times, we just multiply it so that our job becomes simpler. Now let us say if I ask you to add minus 2 for 3 times, where will you go? You will start adding minus 2 from 0, because from 0 to minus 2, this is one time. So you have added minus 2 one time. You added minus 2 one more time, so you reached at minus 4. You added minus 2 one more time, so you reached at minus 6. So basically if you add minus 2 for 3 times, you will get minus 6. And that is why when you multiply 3 to minus 2, you get minus 6. So this is what we mean by multiplication. Now another interesting fact about multiplication is that now minus 2 into 3 is basically the same thing as 2 into minus 3. You want to see how? Now what do you mean by 2 into minus 3? This means minus 3 is added 2 times. So this basically means that minus 3 is added 2 times. So if you add minus 3 2 times, so first time when you add minus 3, you reach here. Again when you add minus 3, you reach here. So again there also you reach at the same point, which is minus 6. So basically we see that 2 into minus 3 is same as minus 2 into 3, which implies that if you have two integers a and b, such that a into minus b will always be equal to minus a into b. So that is another important conclusion that we can draw out of this. So basically what we conclude is whenever you have to multiply a positive integer with a negative integer, what you do, you find the product normally, forgetting about the sign, and then put a negative sign. So if one of them carries a negative sign, then the product will always be negative. So whether you are multiplying minus 9 into 6, what would be the result? 9 6 is 54. Since one of them is negative, so you put a negative sign. 6 into minus 9, again it would be 54. Since one of them is negative, so the result would be minus 54. So this is how you multiply a positive integer with a negative integer. Now let us see how do we multiply a negative integer with a negative integer. Now this is going to be a little more interesting. Let's say you have to find out the value of minus 2 multiplied by minus 3. Now what does this mean basically? Because when we say minus 2 into 3, we say that minus 2 is added 3 times. But when we say minus 2 into minus 3, does that mean that minus 2 is added minus 3 times? Because we really don't understand the meaning of minus 3 times. Now basically in this case, what it means is, it still means that minus 2 is added 3 times. But this negative sign just tells us that this time we move in the opposite direction on the number line. So let us take this example. Now let us say that when we spoke about minus 2 multiplied by 3, so how did we move on the number line? So if this is your number line, so how did you move on the number line? Something like this, minus 2, again minus 2, again minus 2, and you reached at minus 6. So this is how you moved for minus 2 into 3. Now let us say if you talk about minus 2 into minus 3, it again means the same thing but in the opposite direction. So you basically are going to move on the opposite side of the number line. And in case of multiplication, you are always going to start from 0. So from 0, you are still going to take 2 steps a time, but in the opposite direction. And as a result, where do you reach? You reach at 6. So this is what you mean by minus 2 into minus 3. So in this case, what is the product that you are going to get? You are going to get a 6, a positive 6. So even though you multiplied 2 negative integers, but the result that you got was a positive integer. Now let us do yet another experiment which will be more interesting and which will tell you that whatever I am telling you is correct, because some of you might not be convinced that okay, since there is a minus sign, why should I move in the opposite direction? So let us do this exercise. This is more interesting. Now I said that minus 2 into 3 is minus 6. I hope you are convinced with this, right? Now let us see what would be the value of minus 2 into 2. That means minus 2 repeated 2 times. So you reach at minus 4. So this is the value of minus 2 into 2. Now let's say minus 2 into 1. That means you just add it once. So you get minus 2. So this would be minus 2. What would be minus 2 multiplied by 0? That means you are not adding minus 2 at all. So in that case, you remain at 0. You stay at 0. You start at 0 and you stay there. So the result would be 0. Now minus 2 into minus 1. Now see, gradually what is happening? You see, you are gradually moving towards this side of the number line. So what should be the expected value of minus 2 into minus 1? So this also means that 2 is added one time. But will it be minus 2? In that case, this and this will have the same value. No, right? So this time we are moving yet ahead. So this is going to be 2. Similarly, minus 2 into minus 2 is going to be 4, minus 2 into minus 3 is going to be 6, and so on. So basically this proves that whenever we multiply two negative integers, the result is always a positive integer. So the simple tip to remember here is, whenever you are multiplying two negative integers, simply find their product and put a positive sign. Let us now see how do we multiply three integers. Till now we have learned about handling two integers at a time. Maybe a positive integer with a positive integer, or a positive integer with a negative integer, or a negative with a negative integer. Let's see how do we handle three integers at a time. So here also we will take different scenarios. Let us first consider the scenario where we have a negative integer, a positive integer, and a positive integer. So let us take an example. Let's say minus 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So you have one negative and two positives. So how do we multiply this? Now this is pretty simple, because multiplying positive integer with positive integer will anyways give you positive result. So you can multiply them first and then you can write it as 4. 2 into 2 is 4. Now you are left with two integers again, that is a negative integer and a positive integer. What happens when you multiply a negative and a positive integer? You simply find the product and put a negative sign. So this is how you could handle this scenario. Now this was a simpler scenario. Let's look at the second scenario where you have all the three negative integers. So something like this, minus 3 multiplied by minus 3 multiplied by minus 3. So here you see all of them are negative integer. Now it is not necessary that all the integers need to be the same integer. I'm saying that any number of integers, but let's say that there are three negative integers. So what would happen? So in this case also we will do the same thing. First you multiply the first two. So minus 3 into minus 3. So multiplying two negative integers, you find the product and put a plus sign. So this would be plus 9 multiplied by minus 3. So again you have the same scenario, two integers, one positive, one negative. So what you do, you find the product and put a minus sign. So how much did you get? Minus 27. Now let us say that in case we have 4 integers, all of them are negative, something like this, minus 3, and one more minus 3. So anyways, when you talk about the product is all about just. So what happens in this case? So let us follow the same process here. So minus 3 into minus 3 would be 9. Again minus 3 into minus 3 would be 9. So this would be 81. Now do you observe something? When there were 3 negative numbers, you got a minus sign in the result. When there are 4 negative numbers, you get a plus sign in the result. So, and I hope that you understand why is that happening, because whenever there are 2 minus signs, the result is a plus sign, right? So from this, what we conclude is, if the number of negative integers, if in case you are multiplying only negative integers, maybe 5 negative integers, 10 negative integers, 6, 7, 12, 15, whatever number, but if the number of negative integers, if this number is even, then the result would be positive. And if the number of negative integers is odd, then the result would be negative. So something of this sort. Like here, the number of negative integers was odd, 1, 2, 3. Therefore, the result was negative. Here, the number of negative integer is even, 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, the result is positive. Now, it is not necessary for this rule to apply. Doesn't matter whether the numbers are the same or they are different. For example, if you have something like minus 12 multiplied by minus 1 multiplied by minus 231 multiplied by minus 30. So if you are multiplying this, so how many integers do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, that is the number of negative integer, is even. Therefore, the result would be positive. Now, what the result would be, for that you will definitely need to find the product. But the sign for the result will always be positive. So this is a very interesting observation, and this is a very simple tip that you can remember whenever you are finding products of integers, because as far as finding products of integers is concerned, the main problem comes with the sign, that what would be the sign of the result. Now let us look at the third scenario, where we say that we have a negative integer, a positive and a negative integer. So let us take this example, minus 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by minus 6. So you have a negative, positive, negative. So in this case, how do we proceed? We first multiply the 2 negative integers. Let's multiply these. So minus 3 into minus 6, 6 3 is 18 and 2 negative signs, so it will be positive. So 2 into 18, and this is going to be 36. Right? Now in this case also, if you try to apply the last tip that we learned, how many negative integers do we have? We have 2 negative integers, 3 and 6. Now the number of negative integers is even, therefore the result would be positive. So therefore, the tip that we need to follow is, whenever the number of negative integers is even, the product is positive, and when the number of negative integers is odd, the product is always negative. So based on whatever we have learned so far on multiplication of integers, let us quickly look at some of the questions. Question number 1. What will be the sign of the product if we multiply together 8 negative integers and 3 positive integers? Okay, so how many number of negative integers do we have? So number of negative integers. Number of negative integers is 8, and 8 is even number or odd number? 8 is even number. Even number, any number that is divisible by 2. So when you divide that number by 2, the remainder is 0. So 8 is an even number. Therefore, the result would be, the sign of the product would be positive. Yes. And in the first case, you also have 3 positive integers. Now, number of positive integers is 3, right? So for positive integers, anyways, the product will be positive. Therefore, overall, the sign of the product will be positive. Let's look at the next one. You have number of negative integers 5. So you have number of negative integers 5. 5 is even or odd? 5 is odd. Therefore, the product of 5 negative integers would be, so therefore the product of 5 negative integers would be negative. Now what about 4 positive integers? So the number of positive integers is 4, and anyways doesn't matter whether the number of positive integer is 3 or 4, the product is always positive. So now half part of the product would be negative and the remaining part of the product would be positive. So overall the product would be negative. Question number 2. Find the product minus 9 multiplied by minus 5 multiplied by minus 6 multiplied by minus 3. So here how many negative integers do you have? So you have 4 negative integers. Therefore the sign of the final product would be positive. Right? So all we need to do is just need to multiply them. So 9 into 5 is 45 and 6 into 3 is 18. So this is equal to 810. Question number 3. Find the product 12 multiplied by minus 50 multiplied by minus 6. So in this case, how many negative integers do you have? You have 2 negative integers. Therefore, the product again would be positive in this case. So 12 multiplied by 50 into 6 is 300 and this is equal to 3600. So this is the product. Now, a common question that arises in your mind is, what is the reason behind learning the properties of multiplication? Because we have already learned the properties related to addition and subtraction of integers, and now we are going to talk about the properties of multiplication of integers. But why do we study these properties? Now, the reason is very simple. If I ask you to calculate this value, 8 into 53 into minus 125, now you can, using the tips, you can very easily find out if the product would be positive or negative, because here you have only one negative integer, so therefore the product would be negative. But my question is, how will you find the product? So to find the product, you would follow a process somewhat like this. Now very easily you can't say what would be 8 into 53. So first you would multiply 8 with 53. So let's say you get 424, and then you multiply this with 125, and then again you get something like this. So don't you think that this was a time consuming and tedious process? Yes, it was, right? So in this fashion you could actually find out the value of this product. Now once you are aware of these properties, how it helps is you get rid of spending so much of time and such complex process. Now there are high chances that you might even commit a mistake while performing this kind of multiplication. So the chances to make mistakes are more, it is more time consuming and it is more complicated. Therefore, we will make use of these properties to make our calculations simpler. So finding product will become a lot simpler using these properties. So the multiplication properties that we would discuss are closure property, commutative property, associative property, distributive property. So more or less the same properties, but this time we will talk specifically for multiplication. Multiplicative identity of a number. So before we talk about any of the properties, first let us talk about multiplication by 0, because this is very interesting. Whenever you multiply an integer with 0, the result is always 0. Are you surprised that how can that happen? But yes, that's the truth. Let us look at examples. So let us say 6 multiplied by 0 gives 0. Minus 12 multiplied by 0 gives 0. 0 multiplied by 0 gives 0. Minus 19,676 multiplied by 0 gives 0. So you take any number you want to. Once you multiply it with 0, the result is always 0. Now are you curious to know why is it so? It is not a magic. It is a very logical thing because of which it is 0. So let us draw the number line and try to understand this. So let us say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. Now let us take the first example, that is 6 multiplied by 0. Now what is the meaning of 6 multiplied by 0? Now earlier we have learned that when we say 6 multiplied by 1, that means 6 is multiplied or 6 is added one time. So one time added means from 0 you will take one jump till 6. Right? Now when we say 6 multiplied by 0, that means 6 is added 0 times. That means 6 is not added at all. So where do you reach? You do not take any jump. So you start with 0 and you remain at 0. And therefore your result is 0. So whether you talk about minus 12 multiplied by 0, that also means that minus 12 is added 0 times. That means minus 12 is not at all added. So you are still at 0, and therefore any integer when multiplied by 0 gives a 0. Now the property that we will talk about is closure property of multiplication. So let us talk about closure property of multiplication. So here also let's do multiplication of various integers and let's see what do we get as a result. So let's say minus 3 multiplied by 9. What do we get? Minus 27. Minus 13 multiplied by minus 10. What do we get? We get 1 plus 130. Minus 5 multiplied by 0, we get 0. 5 multiplied by minus 6, we get minus 30. Now in each of these cases, what we try to do is we try to multiply different types of integers. Sometimes we multiplied a negative integer with 0. Sometimes we multiplied two negative integers. Sometimes a negative and a positive. Sometimes a positive and a negative. And in each of the cases, we found that the result that we obtained, they were all integers. And this proved that the integers are closed under multiplication. That is, for all integers a and b, a into b is always an integer. So that is why they are called closed, because they are within their territory of integers. So one integer multiplied with another integer will give an integer. So they cannot go out of their territory. So they are closed under multiplication, and that is why it is called closure property. Next is commutative property. So when it comes to commutative property, again we talk about the same interchange of integers. So we say that for any two integers a and b, a into b is equal to b into a. So let us prove this with a lot of examples. So let us say we take two integers, 2 into 6. So the result is 12. Now if we reverse their order, that is 6 into 2, then also we get the same result. Similarly, you try with other integers, minus 2 into 3 gives minus 6. Similarly, 3 into minus 2, this also gives minus 6. You talk about 14 into minus 2, which gives minus 28. Again, minus 2 into 14 also gives minus 28. You talk about two negative integers, that is minus 9 into minus 6, which gives 54. Minus 6 multiplied by minus 9 also gives 54. Minus 6 into 0 gives 0. 0 into minus 6 also gives 0. So in each of these cases, we see that 2 into 6 is equal to 6 into 2. Minus 2 into 3 is equal to 3 into minus 2. So basically, even if we change the order of the integers, the product remains the same. Therefore, we say that for any two integers a and b, a into b is always equal to b into a. And this is the commutative property of multiplication. Let's now talk about the third property, that is associative property. So this property also talks about the order of integers. Now let's say that you have three integers. So let us take examples. 2, minus 6 and minus 3. Let's say these are the three integers that you have. So as per this property, if you multiply the first two integers first and then multiply the product with the third integer, so how much do you get? You get minus 12 into minus 3, which is equal to 36. Now if we change the order of these three integers, that is we keep 2 first, but then we perform the multiplication of minus 6 and minus 3 first. So we first multiply these two. So 2 into 18, and the result here is also 36. So in both the cases, the result remains the same. Let's try with more integers. Let's say minus 3 into 0 multiplied by minus 5. So how much do you get? 0 into minus 5, which is equal to 0. Now let us just change the order in which we carry out multiplication. So minus 3 multiplied by 0 into minus 5. So this is equal to minus 3 into 0, which is again 0. So the result in this case is also the same. Again, let's try with this one. Minus 6 into minus 3 multiplied by minus 2. So this is equal to 18 multiplied by minus 2, which is equal to minus 36. Now here let's say minus 6 multiplied by minus 3 into minus 2. So this is equal to minus 6 into 6, which is equal to minus 36. So in this case also both the values are the same. Therefore, looking at these examples, we can say that for any three integers a, b and c, a into b multiplied by c is equal to a into b into c. So whether you perform this multiplication first or you perform this part first, that really doesn't affect the product. So the product still remains the same. So both the commutative property and the associative property proves that the order of the integers doesn't really matter much. So in whatever order you multiply integers, the product will remain the same. So here we proved that the product of three integers doesn't depend on the grouping of integers. Let us now look at the fourth property, that is distributive property over addition. So we will look at this property for both addition as well as subtraction. Obviously this is a property of multiplication. Let us have a look at the property. So this says that if you have three integers a, b and c, then a into b plus c is equal to a into b plus a into c. So for this also let us take examples and prove if this holds true. So let us take this example, minus 5 multiplied by 15 plus 3. Now there is one simple way that without following this property, you just first add these two, which is 18, and then you multiply minus 5 and 18, so you get minus 90. The other way is to follow this property, that is you write minus 5 into 15 plus minus 5 into 3. So you get minus 75 minus 15, which is again equal to minus 90. So both of these are equal. So we will try with more examples. Let's consider the next example where we say minus 15 multiplied by 10 plus minus 21. So this becomes minus 15 into minus 31. Sorry, this becomes 10 plus minus 21 would be minus 11. So this is equal to 165. Now when you follow the property, it becomes minus 15 into 10 plus minus 15 into minus 21. So this becomes equal to minus 150 plus 315. And this is equal to 165 again. Let's look at a third example where we will involve 0 as well. So minus 3 into 0 plus minus 8. So this is equal to minus 3 into minus 8, which is equal to 24. Following the property, this would be minus 3 into 0 plus minus 3 into minus 8. So this is 0 plus 24, which is equal to 24 again. So in each of these cases, we see that the result that we get by calculating a into b plus c and a into b plus a into c is the same. Therefore, we can say that for any three integers a, b and c, a into b plus c is equal to a into b plus a into c. Now how these properties will help us, they will make our calculation easier. We will see that as well. So let us now look at distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. So this is going to be very similar to what we learned in the previous slide, just that instead of addition it will be for subtraction. So this tells us that A multiplied by B minus C is equal to A into B minus A into C. So let us take examples to verify this. So the first example that we take is minus 5 into 15 minus 3. So first let us just solve it as it is. So minus 5 into 12, which is equal to minus 60. Now let us make use of the property. So minus 5 into 15 minus 5 into 3. So this is equal to minus 75 minus 15. So this is also equal to minus 60. So here we see we get same results of both A into B minus C and A into B minus A into C. Let's take one more example. Let's say minus 3 into 0 minus 8. Now we are taking a mix of negative, positive integers, even 0, so that we know that this holds true. So this would be minus 3 into 8, which is equal to minus 24. Now when you make use of the property, it becomes minus 3 into 0 minus 3 into minus 8. So this is equal to minus 0 minus 24, which is again equal to minus 24. So in this case also we see that both of them give equal results. Therefore we can verify that A into B minus C is definitely equal to A into B minus A into C. So now we talk about multiplicative identity. Now we have learned about additive identity. So additive identity is a number which when added to an integer gives the same integer. Multiplicative identity is that number which when multiplied to an integer retains its identity. So one is called the multiplicative identity for all integers. I hope you would have guessed by now why. Because if you multiply any integer with 1, the result will always be the same integer. So for example, 6 into 1 gives 6. Minus 12 into 1 gives minus 12. 0 into 1 gives 0. Minus 19,676 into 1 gives minus 19,676. So it doesn't matter whether an integer is positive, negative, 0, big, small. Every time it gets multiplied with 1, it remains the same. Now why does this happen? We can understand that from the number line. Let's say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So let us look at the first example which says 6 into 1. That means 6 added one time. So 1 times 6 added means you will make one jump of 6 from 0. So this would be 6 into 1, which is equal to 6. So any number you multiply with 1, it will reach to the same number, and that is why 1 is called multiplicative identity, because it retains the identity of integers when it is multiplied with that integer. So any integer multiplied by 1 gives the same integer. Now again we come back to the same question, that how these properties made multiplications easier, because on one of the previous slides I told that okay, if you want to calculate this 8 into 53 into minus 125, you need to do huge calculations. But now I have to prove that how with the help of these properties this calculation is going to be simple. So let us now try to solve the same thing making use of properties. Now the question is 8 into 53 into minus 125. Now we do not want to do such big multiplications. So what we do, we just rearrange the integers. Now how do we rearrange? What we do is we bring minus 125 before. So first we multiply 8 into minus 25 and then we multiply 53 with it. Why did we do this? Because 8 into 125 gives a very simple number with good number of zeros. So once you do this, you would see that it is 1000. This will have a minus sign. So minus 1000 into 53. Do you think that this is a huge calculation? No, this is very much simple. 53 multiplied by 1000 would be 53,000. So you really do not need to perform multiplications as such. So you see, you could find out the product in a very simple and easier way, and this saved your time as well. So this is how these properties will make our multiplications easier. So let us look at another example. Find the product minus 45 into 18. Now normally, without making use of properties, how would you find this product? You would actually multiply 45 by 18. So you will get something like this, 360, and then you get 45. So this becomes 810. Therefore, you say that minus 45 into 18 is equal to minus 810. So this is how you do without making use of properties. Now let us make use of properties. So when you make use of properties, what you do, instead of 18, you write it as 20 minus 2. 18 can be written as 20 minus 2. Now which property do you remember? So this is distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. So as per distributive property, this is equal to minus 45 into 20 minus 45 into 2. So 45 into 20. So 1 0, otherwise 45 into 2 is 90. So this is minus 900 minus 45 into 2 is again minus 90. So this is equal to minus 900 plus 90. Which is equal to minus 810. So you see, in this case, you do not need to perform the traditional way of multiplication. Just by simplifying with the help of properties, you can solve it. So this is a far more easy way when compared to the normal method. So based on whatever we have learned about multiplication of integers using properties, we will look at some of the questions now. Question number 1. Verify the following. Minus 21 into minus 4 plus minus 6 is equal to minus 21 into 4 plus minus 21 into 6. So basically, which property is this? Minus 20 A into B plus A into C. This is nothing but distributive property. So we have to prove this distributive property. So for that, let us first calculate left hand side. So this is left hand side. So this is minus 21 into minus 4 plus minus 6. So minus 4 plus minus 6, that is equal to minus 10. So minus 21 into minus 10 will be equal to 210. Now let us calculate the right hand side. So this is right hand side. This would be minus 21 into minus 4 plus minus 21 into minus 6. So 21 into 4, this is 84 plus 84 plus this would be 126. So this is also plus 126. So this is equal to 210. Therefore, what do we see? We see that LHS is equal to RHS, hence verified. Question number 2. For any integer a, what is minus 1 into a equal to? So now what do we know? We know that 1 is multiplicative identity. So if you have any integer a, multiply it with 1, it gives you a. Now instead of 1, if you have minus 1, what will happen? The product will still remain the same, just that now it will have a minus sign. Determine the integer whose product with minus 1 is minus 22. So what is that integer which, when, let's say I don't know the integer, which when multiplied with minus 1 gives minus 22. So as you saw here, whenever you multiply any integer with minus 1, its sign changes. So that means the integer which would have been multiplied with minus 1 must be the same integer with opposite sign. So basically this integer would be 22. Similarly, in order to get the product as 37, the integer should be minus 37. In order to get the product as 0, the integer should be 0, because 0 into minus 1 is equal to 0. Question number 3. Find the product using suitable properties. 15 into minus 25 into minus 4 into minus 10. So here what do we see? We see that we have three negative integers. But how do we arrange it better? So we place 15 and 10 together, because 15 and 10 when multiplied gives a number with more zeros, and that makes our calculations simpler. So we group them together and we group minus 25 and minus 4 together. So when you multiply these, you get minus 50. You multiply these, you get 100. So again it became simpler. The result would be 15, 1, 2, 3 zeros. So this would be minus 15,000. And which property did we make use of? We made use of the associative property, which says that the grouping of the integers really do not matter. You can group them the way you want. Question number 4. Find the product using suitable properties. Minus 57 into minus 19 plus 57. Now this thing can be written as minus 57 into minus 19 plus 57 into 1. You can write this like this because 57 into 1 is 57. So 57 can be written as 57 into 1. By looking at this, do you remember any property? Yes, of course. It reminds us of the distributive property. So as per the distributive property, A into B plus C is equal to A into B plus A into C. So right now we have it in the format A into B plus A into C. Right? So we have it in that format more or less. So what do? We can write it as something like this. We can write it as A into B plus C. What is C? C is nothing but 1. Now you might be wondering, where did the negative sign go? That's because this is negative, this is also negative. So negative will become positive. So whenever you multiply two negative numbers, the sign of the product is always positive. So we have ignored the negative signs. So from this, what you can say, this would be equal to 57 into 20. Now multiplying this is easy. You have a 0, so you put a 0 straightforward. Now 57 into 2. So this is 1140. So you see, by making use of properties, we can simplify the calculations. Question number 5. In a class test containing 10 questions, 5 marks are awarded for every correct answer and minus 2 marks are awarded for every incorrect answer and 0 for questions not attempted. Mohan gets 4 correct and 6 incorrect answers. What is his score? Okay, so as far as Mohan's score is concerned, he has given 4 correct answers. So for 4 correct answers, what would be his score? So 5 marks are awarded for every correct answer. So for 4 correct answer, his score would be 4 into 5. For 6 incorrect answers, what would be his score? For every incorrect answer, 2 marks are deducted. So 6 into minus 2, because these marks are deducted. Therefore, the total score of Mohan would be 4 into 5, that is the correct answer score, plus the incorrect answer score. So this would be 20 minus 12, which is equal to 8. Therefore, Mohan's score would be 8. So let us look at the second part, where it says that Reshma gives 5 correct and 5 incorrect answers. So for 5 correct answers, the score would be 5 into 5, and for 5 incorrect answers, the score would be 5 into minus 2. Therefore, the total score of Reshma would be 5 into 5, that is correct answers, plus 5 into minus 2, that is incorrect answers. So this would be 25 minus 10, which is equal to 15. Similarly, in the third case, we see that Hina gave 2 correct answers, 5 incorrect, and 7 did not attempt. So that means for 2 correct answers, the score would be 2 into 5. For 5 incorrect answer, the score would be 5 into minus 2, and for 7 questions which were not attempted, the score would be 7 into 0. Therefore, the total score would be 2 into 5, that is the correct answers, plus 5 into minus 2, that is incorrect answers, plus 7 into 0. So this would be equal to 10 minus 10 plus 0. So this is equal to 0. So the net score of Hina would be 0. Question number 6. A certain freezing process requires that room temperature be lowered from 40 degrees Celsius at the rate of 5 degrees Celsius every hour. So that means the room temperature currently is 40 degrees Celsius and we want the room temperature to decrease. So what will be the room temperature 10 hours after the process begins? So after 10 hours, what would be the temperature when the temperature is decreasing at the rate of 5 degrees Celsius every hour? So after every 1 hour, the temperature reduces by 5 degrees Celsius. Again after 1 hour, 5 degrees Celsius. Again after 5 hours, minus 5 degree. So that is how it is reducing, and what should be the temperature at the end of 10 hours. So that means in 1 hour, what is the decrease? In 1 hour, the decrease is 5 degrees Celsius. Therefore, in 10 hours, what would be the decrease? The decrease would be 5 into 10 degrees Celsius. Right? So therefore, what would be the final temperature? So the final temperature would be 40 degrees Celsius, because this much temperature will decrease. And what is the current temperature? Current temperature is 40. So the final temperature would be 40 minus 5 into 10. Right? So this would be 40 degree minus 50 degree, which is equal to minus 10 degree Celsius. Because this much would be this 5 into 10, which is equal to 50 degrees Celsius. 50 degrees Celsius would be the total decrease in temperature. This much the temperature will decrease. So what would be the final temperature? 40, that is the initial value, minus whatever has decreased, that is 50. So 40 minus 50 would be the final temperature. Replace the blank with an integer to make it a true statement. Minus 3 into dash is equal to 27. So you see, this is negative, but the product is positive. That means this should also be negative, only then the product would be positive. So 3 into 9 is 27. In this case, this is positive and this is negative. That means this has to be negative, and 5 into 7 is 35. So this would be minus 7.
I hope you found the video useful. If you have a feedback, do let us know in the comment section. And in the next video, we are going to learn about division of integers. So be with us.